and fix the problem.
The mayor also saying buying new equipment is a key part of the plan. We'll be following this meeting as it happens and bring you the latest on how the city is planning to avoid a repeat of last winter's issues. Reporting live, I'm Felix Slew.
Multiple hydro poles were knocked down in an industrial area of Brampton, and hundreds of customers are currently without power. 680's Carl Hansky's at the scene near Steeles and Dixie with more on what exactly happened.
9 hydro poles have been toppled over here on Strathern Avenue in Brampton, knocking out power to this entire industrial area. Hydro crews are on scene, not sure what brought the poles down, but area workers say there was a brief but very powerful windstorm.
So I heard it was like a little hurricane or something like that. They just dropped and left. So
Downburst.
you got her.
Your company's in the dark.
And of course, we got people calling us.
Where's my order?
Where's our order? Yeah, exactly. But that's okay. Yeah, we'll manage it.
Crews have already started replacing the hydro poles, but with 9 to replace and then restring, the work will likely last all day and maybe longer. On Strathern Avenue near Dixie and Steeles in Brampton, I'm Carl Hansky.
A survey from the Salvation Army shows a growing number of Canadians are struggling to keep up with the cost of living. 680 business analyst Chris McCusker has more. A survey of more than 1,500 people helped to produce the 2025 Canadian Poverty and Socioeconomic Analysis. The goal was to better understand attitudes, behaviors, and experiences on issues like the availability of housing and food, general affordability, and related health outcomes. Now, 46% of respondents feel optimistic about their finances over the next 2 years, but that's down from 51% last year. Concern about job security has more than doubled, rising to 22% this year from 10% last year. And for the second consecutive year, housing and healthcare remain the top concerns among Canadians. I'm Chris McCusker. The police are warning about distraction thefts targeting elderly people in Brampton. Officers say they've received multiple reports of suspects approaching victims, engaging them in conversation, and then snatching or swapping their jewelry. Police say a woman allegedly goes up to the victims before men get out of a nearby vehicle and take the jewelry. Residents are being asked to report any suspicious activity. Former U.S. Vice President Dick Cheney has died at the age of 84. As we hear from ABC's George Stephanopoulos, Cheney was called the force behind President George W. Bush, a notoriously silent but powerful vice president who became an outspoken defender of the Bush administration and ardent critic of President Obama.
Cheney was beloved by conservatives, vilified by the left. After 9/11, he was influential in formulating the U.S. response, the doctrine of preemptive action. It widened the war on terror from Afghanistan to Iraq. He faced challenges in and out of the White House, shooting a campaign contributor in the face during a 2006 quail hunt. Cheney's daughter Liz was one of 10 Republicans who voted to impeach former President Trump for his role in the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol.
In a statement, his family says Cheney died last night due to complications of pneumonia, as well as cardiac and vascular disease. He had had several heart attacks and a quadruple bypass before he turned 50, and a heart transplant when he was 71 that he called the gift of life. 680 News Time, 9:39.
So the other day I got my dad yelling at the microwave because it forgot his birthday. He also got lost at the mall. When security found him, he had a balloon. It said, "It's a girl." And this morning, he asked where my mom was. She died 10 years ago. Nobody understands how serious care is until they have to do it themselves. I'm Jerry D., and over 8 million Canadians care for their loved ones. Petro-Canada Caremakers Foundation helps family caregivers get the care they need.
Tara Brightman, A Winter Symphony. Enjoy a magical...
That somehow the First Nations are seeking those privately held properties.
And so, Robert, the public reaction has been fierce. People are worried. People are concerned. Even though you say, look, that's not what we're trying to do here. But how does that public reaction to the ruling that we've seen in Richmond impact this country's reconciliation with First Nations?
Well, I think that, I've been, as the chief negotiator, advancing this issue, as I say, since the year 2000. I have put on the table options for Crown to deal with this issue in a positive way. I have talked to administrators